All right. Brad McLeod here, SealGrinderPT.com. I'm here live on the phone with Michael Jaco. He is a former Navy SEAL, SEAL Team 6 DevGru operator. Been around the world, deployed in many of the different hot spots, helping to defend freedom. And he's also the author of the book, Intuitive Warrior. Y'all can check it out on Amazon. We'll be posting up links down below on our Seal Grinder page also, how you can check that book out. One of the things that I think is pretty damn cool is Michael has he hiked the Pacific Crest Trail last year. I don't know if y'all are aware of that, but it's just all the way from Mexico all the way up to Canada through the Sierras, and we'll talk a little bit about that, but that's an impressive feat in itself. And also, the other thing that got me really interested in wanting to talk to Michael here is his course that he has, and it's the Unleash Intuition course that he's offering now, and he's up in the Lake Tahoe area. I'm down south right now. It's starting to get hot and sweaty, so I'm like looking on the internet, drooling over his pictures of hikes up in the Sierras and all that. But yeah, I just want to give a big welcome to Michael Jaco. And yeah, man, thanks so much for taking the time out of your day. I know you're getting ready to go hike in a few minutes here, so we'll knock this out. But yeah, welcome to the podcast. I guess this will be podcast number 2 for those of y'all keeping track. But yeah, thanks for being on, Michael.
Thanks for having me, Brad. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Well, hey, the first question, man, I just want to ask you is just, how did you get interested in the Navy SEALs? I mean, tell us a little bit about, where you grew up and what influenced you to not only join the SEALs, but try out for DevGru.
Yeah, I grew up in Columbia, South Carolina, and I was always a little fish in the water. Loved to swim. And I saw the movie when I was like 5 years old, Navy Frogmen. It was an old World War II era movie. And I was like, that's what I'm going to do when I grow up, So I, all the way through school, I'm just like, prepping myself, getting ready, dreaming it, gathering any kind of information I could on it. And then finally, when I came in the Navy, I actually became a hard hat diver. I thought I was going to do everything, I wanted to do hard hat diver, be a Navy SEAL, and, everything.
Right.
So did the hard hat diving thing. Then eventually went on to BUDS. I was class 116 back in 1981.
Okay.
And actually, my birthday, September 27th, was the start of Hell Week. So it was the best birthday present I ever had.
Yeah.
Yeah. So went on and UDT 12 was my first team way back.
Old school Frogman. Yeah. Oh, I love it, man. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. And then went on to SEAL Team 5 and did that for a couple of years, did several platoons. And then went to DevGru, tried out for DevGru, went there pretty early in my career. So it was a lot of fun. Did the Panama invasion,
wow.
Some other stuff. Yeah, lots of stuff at DevGru. It's like the creme de la creme of the SEAL team. So it was a great experience. Went to BUDS, was a Hell Week instructor there.
Really?
Yeah. That was a great experience too, because
wow.
You really know you never know what's inside someone. I would look at someone and go, "Oh, that guy's going to crush it," and they'd be the first to quit because it always becomes very easy and natural for them, physically to accomplish things. And once you get into Hell Week era, I mean, everybody gets pushed to an extreme level. So unless you have the very deep drive, which I'd had when I went through BUDS, and which people that make it through BUDS have, you're just not going to make it. You can't dig deep and pull that out. So yeah, it was a great experience doing that. I started the first hand-to-hand program for the Navy SEAL teams. So really did some amazing things in my career. So
oh really? Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Got out of the SEAL teams after 24 years and went 11 years with the CIA as a security contractor. And
damn.
Yeah, probably one of the coolest things I did. Did a lot of cool things, but one of the coolest things I did was help track bin Laden, and I was actually in Pakistan when my old team, Red Squadron, came in and got him. So yeah, a lot of good stuff throughout my career.
Wow. Well, we won't, that's not our job to talk about, we can't talk about anything OPSEC and all that. I'd love to talk to you more about that off the record, man. That's just amazing stuff. And I know, probably 99% of that's classified and all that, but let's just back up a little bit too, like some of the fun stuff. You said, not only did you go through Hell Week, started out with your birthday, but then you were a Hell Week instructor. I mean, what was the, what was the funniest thing you ever saw back in the day? I mean, I remember just, all kind of crazy stuff happening. I went through BUD/S twice, 2 Hell Weeks, so that's kind of a special topic for me. And, I'm one of those hard cases. But, like, what was – like what's something really funny that happened, or just, if you can relay a story like that.
Yeah, there's quite a few of them. Some of them I could go into that are a little bit over the edge, but I think one of the funniest things that I can relate is I was kind of a new instructor, and I'm watching everything, and I'm like, God, these guys, I can't imagine how I went through this. I mean, just the things that you go
I know.
through,
Yeah.
And you went through twice, my God. But
yeah.
I remember one night, it was probably about the third or fourth night, guys are moving around like zombies unless you really, get on their case and motivate them. They're going to the bathroom, and we'd have them put the boat on their heads, I'm thinking that's obviously that'll keep them awake, right?
Yeah.
Because if you give them just a second to relax, boom, they're out of they're
yeah.
asleep.
Oh yeah.
So I'm watching these guys, and so they wouldn't go to sleep, because if I wasn't watching them, they would go to sleep. So they had a boat on their head, and they're doing micro sleeps. They're like falling asleep, and they catch themselves before they fall down.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was like, oh, that was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. It was amazing. But it just goes to show that, we're capable of so amazing amounts of, pushing ourselves. And that's what those guys were doing. And then I learned that, it's not just about, how bad you think you are, but how deep you can go. You really need to go deep. It was amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, man. No, you're that's exactly how I've explained it over the years to other people, is that, I mean, you look, I'm, 165 pounds soaking wet, going through BUD/S, wasn't a letterman or, any type of high school sport or whatever, but just had that strong drive. I was probably a C average, BUD/S candidate or whatever. And, but yeah, I just, you're telling it exactly how I would explain it to others, and that if you've got that drive, that's going to make up for, a lot of other deficiencies. You still have to pass the swims and runs and all that, and you have to be a great teammate, but you definitely have to have that why, as you've kind of explained there. The third night out and you're falling asleep, you're freezing cold, what have you, you're going to have to dig deep. So, but yeah, well, tell us about, let's kind of, how did you get into, sorry, man, my dog's here in the back of the truck here. My sheepdog, Hannah. How did you get into being an author and writing the book, Intuitive Warrior? Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, the Intuitive Warrior goes kind of deep into the spiritual realm. I think that we all have this amazing ability within us. We're all like superheroes if we can learn how to tap into it. And a little bit about that after going through SEAL training. But digging deep not only activates, the abilities to do things on a physical level, but also to do things on this, super conscious level. And I started to see guys throughout my career and some of them were Vietnam vets that just seemed to have this amazing ability to know things that were not physically possible. Like, we were in the mountains one time doing a long trek, and we're supposed to be resupplied, and our resupply hadn't happened. And so we've been a couple of days without food, and we're laying up alongside this road, waiting for a resupply. And it was late at night. Everybody's asleep, deep asleep, because we're exhausted. And this old Master Chief, raises his head and says, "I hear something." And we all sat up, and then, several minutes go by, and I'm like, this guy's he can't hear anything to begin with. He's dreaming. So I lay back down. Several more minutes go by, and here comes a truck. And I was like, wow, how did he do that? So I just started to see that we have this super sensory perception ability. Started noticing other guys, and I was like, if they can do it, I can do it too. So I just started pushing my own awareness. And one of the things that happened that I talk about in the Intuitive Warrior is I was able to predict attacks before they happened. First, it was a day, then it was a couple of days, and then it was a week in advance. And I think that we all have the ability to, push into these zones. And so I predict this one attack where in Pakistan, no attacks had happened in Pakistan at the time, no terrorist attacks. And I said that there's going to be an attack on a certain road. It's going to be at this time frame. There's going to be another attack, another place in the city. We have to be aware of it because it's close to, the consulate where we're working out of. And sure enough, the attack happened right when I said it was. So I just started tapping deeper and deeper into that stuff. And I talk about that in my book, and I tell people how they can do it as well.
Man, that's crazy. That's awesome. Well, just a guy off the street that wants to delve deeper. What's, somebody who's maybe interested in buds, or maybe they were interested in pushing their business forward, or having a better family. I mean, what's something that like one tip that you might basic tip that you could to give them that could kind of help them on that journey? Obviously, I think, we want to pick up a copy of the book. We're going to post up links down below where you can get that book through Amazon. I urge all of our readers to pick up a copy of that. But what's one tip that you can throw out there that we can kind of grasp hold of today and try and use?
It's just like we were talking about. It's having that passion for something. If you have that passion and nothing gets in your way, no one can talk you out of it. I mean, you probably had the same thing, people talking like, oh, you're not going to make it. I mean,
yeah.
It's amazing the people that I thought were my best friends that told me later that we all said that you weren't going to make it. We had bets on it. It was like, wow.
Yep.
Man. Exactly. You know what I'm talking about. So
exactly.
You have that unbelievable passion, that focus, that desire for whatever it is in life that you want to accomplish, whether, like you're talking about, if you want to start a business, whether you want to make it through buds, make it through the SEAL team. This is really hard these days just to make it to the SEAL team. So you have to have a really good focus.
Oh, yeah.
I think the intuitive side, like I'm talking about, it kind of opens up these doorways within your mind and consciousness because you have this intense focus that things just start happening. Doors open to you. People call you up and say, hey, I heard you wanted to be a Navy SEAL, and you're like, wow, they even know who this guy was, and he's helping me out. So that kind of stuff will start to happen when you have that kind of focus, that kind of passion for something. And these intuitive abilities are available to all of us. So that's what I say, that unique, deep type of passion for something.
Right. Yeah, no, I can definitely relate to that. That's, I was unmovable in my desire to become a SEAL. Everyone tried to talk me out of it. Friends laughed at me or said, you're not going to make it, what have you. But somewhere deep inside, I had that, like you say, that passion and that strong desire. But I'm a really big believer in that I know it's myself even, just barely scratched the surface of what we're capable of mentally. And buds really showed that to us in terms of, whether it was Hell Week or whether it was, swimming long distance or running or just being under the gun day after day under pressure. I really had not thought that I was capable. I knew I was capable of more, but buds showed you, like you said, opening a door. Buds really opened a door for the rest of my life. And I'm sure every other SEAL, every other special warfare, special forces guy out there could really say the same thing, is that it really opened up a lot of doors in terms of, not quitting later on in life or trying to push yourself forward. So, well, tell us about, I'm really intrigued about the Pacific Crest Trail. I did a small fraction of that way back in the day with some other SEAL team buddies up around Yosemite. So that, when last year I was following you online with your Facebook, and I urge everyone to, check out Michael on Facebook. He's posting up some really incredible stuff right now up around the Lake Tahoe area with waterfalls and snow and ice and hiking and all that. But tell us a little bit more about, I mean, you just wake up one day and decide to hike the Pacific Crest Trail, or has this been something you wanted to do for a long time? And I mean, how'd you train for it? Or, that's pretty freaking tough, man. I know you're a tough dude, but hey, what little bit I've tried to chomp on the Pacific Crest Trail, I was like, damn, that doing the whole thing, that's up there, man.
Yeah, it really takes a lot of like we've learned as SEALs, it takes that kind of devotion. I done like 35 years with the federal government. I did 24 years as a SEAL team, and then 11 years with the CIA, and I needed a break. And I knew that the best thing that works for me is to get out in nature and just just everything goes to zero, and I just kind of rebalance and ground myself. So I was like, I've heard about it for years. I thought that someday I would set aside the time to do that, and it just happened after I left the CIA that I had that time. So I prepared all myself. I still had a lot of my SEAL gear, from over the years. I'm like, this would be fine. Yeah. Boy, I learned the hard way. You have to get the high speed stuff these days, otherwise you're not going to make it. So right. I was like, set aside the time, sorted it out. Man, it was brutal. And you just learn how to dig deep. I started out, I was only doing 10, 11 miles a day. And then it started, after a few weeks, it was 15 miles a day, and then 20, wow. And 24 miles a day.
Really?
So, you just get up in the morning, you pack your tent, you pack your stuff away, you eat a meal, and you get on there and just start hiking. You just keep going all day long, stop and get some water, eat a little something, and keep going. And I think that's the training that I had, the discipline that I had over the years. Doing the SEAL stuff, I'd always been, very rigorous in my workouts and stuff like that. I competed in bodybuilding contests and stuff like that. So always pushing myself to the limit in everything I did. And I was like, I need something that's really going to push me and put me back into the zone. And that's the Pacific Crest Trail did that. So it was good.
Yeah. For those that don't know that much about it, I urge you to get online, Google that Pacific Crest Trail. It is no joke. There's tons of elevation, rocky terrain, snow at altitude. There, it's not like there's a Wendy's or a convenience store at the bottom, at the bottom of every valley. You're really having to hump all your gear in, and you have a few resupplies, but it's you're isolated, man. That's an amazing accomplishment.
Yeah, so, there was one period of time where I went 6 days without seeing another soul.
Wow.
I was deep in the wilderness. I kind of like, when I first started, I was in a pack. Early March, and I started eventually, pulling out, and then I was like right at the lead. So it was kind of nice. All that training, all that
6 days.
Yeah, 6 days, not a soul I saw. It was beautiful though. You love that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I think most of us can say we may not have gone 24 days without seeing another person, or certainly not 48 hours for a lot of us. And 6 days. And I bet that was really good in terms of, kind of clearing out your mind.
Absolutely.
You're not on a cell phone or Facebook, or, technology is good, but, there's a certain time where we got to set it all aside. And I bet that was really good for, just resting the mind, giving you that ability just to think more clearly. Plus you're up there, you got, I remember filtering water out of some of the streams or out of a lake or something, and you're like, man, I don't even know if I need to use this filter. The water's so damn clean, and it's like, it's living the good life, man. You're up there, and
it was beautiful. The views are like indescribable. I mean, I wish I could go back to some of those places, but it would be like, I was talking about, it'd be like a 3 or 4 day hike just to get to some of those places. And
oh yeah, yeah. No, you don't just
deep, no,
pull your car up and go hike a
no.
couple 100 yards to overlook. Man, you're deep in the wilderness. That was one of the things I really respect. I respect anybody who's been on that trail for a couple of days, let alone doing the whole thing. Man, I couldn't even imagine. So. But yeah, well, tell us now. It sounds like you're still in that same part of the world. You're in the Tahoe area, near there. You're in the mountains, the snow, the clean water, and all that. I mean, tell us what you're doing now, and tell us about your upcoming camp, Unleash Intuition.
So yeah, I'm doing the author thing. I'm writing more books, and I'm also doing these intuition courses. And these intuition courses are 2-day. The Unleashing Intuition course is a 2-day event where I basically go through events throughout time, historical time, art, music, movies, and then my own experiences, and other people that have had deep insights, and relay that information into a system where anyone can tap into this stuff. So it's like going into, I do meditations after every lecture. So it's going deeper and deeper into these mind states. Right. So just like we've learned, you learn how to like build a mind state, a mind like groove, and if you want to think about it, a neuron groove in your brain, which basically fires fast. It keeps you focus, keeps you doing the amazing things that we're all capable of doing. And I teach people how to understand, through science and through, spiritual training throughout time, that we all can tap into that. And then there's a follow-on course if you're, excited enough to go deeper into this stuff, 3-day course where I actually take people out in the wilderness and we go really deep into this stuff.
Yeah. Wow. Well, let me touch on something real quick. You'd mentioned about meditation. I mean, for the beginner that's out there, I've had a couple athletes email me before and say, hey, how do you meditate? How do you, I just want to get started with, say, like some deep breathing. What do you have? Can you give us like a couple of, can you give us a good tip on, say, how, what would you do if you were a beginner and you wanted to, help someone, train them in trying to meditate and to calm their mind?
Yeah, that's probably one of the best things you can do. I think yoga helps a lot of people do that. So you're just basically, if you need that physical, like a lot of us are very physical oriented. So if you need something physical, doing yoga where you hold these poses for periods of time and breathe deeply and then relax into the poses, that's really good. But it's pretty much the same thing when you're meditating. I can go to a meditation point instantly after all the training that I've had, meditating. Right. Yep. But on the beginning level, you just start to learn how to focus on your breath and try and clear your mind. If things were going to like keep coming back into your mind, like the monkey mind, it wants to think and wants to think and wants to think, he's like to have to learn how to slow it down and calm and focus on one thing. And that's what, people that achieve great things in life, they learn how to really focus their mind and focus on what they want to accomplish, because the brainwave patterns that we can focus on that brings into these relaxed states of consciousness help us to achieve great things.
Right. Well, tell us a little bit more. You used the term monkey mind, and a lot of our followers out there, they've read about the monkey mind, but a lot of them have not. I mean, kind of go into that a little bit more and explain that for someone that's new to this type of thinking and meditation, and talk about the monkey mind just a little bit.
Well, the monkey mind is basically, it's, like the monkey bounces around, is always active. Your brain wants to stay active as well and wants to stay focused on something like, what am I going to do tonight when I go out? Who am I going to meet? It's just on and on and on. It just doesn't really focus on one thing. And it's just abstract, information. It's not information that, you really need to focus on. Like this morning, I want to get a cup of coffee, and just all these different thoughts start coming into my mind. I'm like, just slow down, drink the coffee, relax.
Right.
But that's the monkey. The monkey mind is going to just keep popping up. Is like, what about this? What about this? What about this? What about this? Jumping like a monkey jumping on the beds. I remember my kids, they're jumping on the beds when they're like, stop jumping on the bed. You're going to hurt yourself, So the monkey mind's going to hurt us, if we keep focusing on letting that thing get away and jump around. So yeah, just learning how to focus your thoughts on just one thing at a time, breathe, relax. If there's things that you need to take care of in life, if there's problems in your life, learn how to just focus on, how to overcome the problem, not the problem itself. So that's the things that I'm teaching. If you want to be a Navy SEAL, you don't focus on people that have failed, to be a Navy SEAL. You want to focus on the people that have, accomplished it. So learning how to really focus your mind so that you can accomplish things in life is the one key, I think, to success in life. So meditation is very, very, very intense and very important in life.
Yeah. My humble opinion, I think that's so important today. We've got, so much coming at us in terms of stimulus, whether it's, the internet, or it's, you're in traffic, or there's billboards, or there's, in traffic, there's road rage. There's, we're getting hit with all these different advertisements. There's our attention span is really brief, in terms of, we're trying to check email. We've got all this stuff going on with business and what have you. And so, yeah, I think that's just so incredibly important to be able to have a mechanism that, even when things are jumping around, the monkey mind's jumping around, you can be aware of that and then intentionally tell yourself to slow down. It's okay. We're not in a hurry right now. We're just making coffee. Or a time that I like to do it is actually gardening out in the yard. I'll be, trimming, or, whatever. And I'll be, instead of thinking, oh, what am I going to do next? Like, no, be in the moment here. Do this task. I like to do physical labor outside. And then as I'm doing that, then I can be aware of the flowers, be aware of, the birds, whatever that's going on. I know for a lot of people are saying, what in the heck's he talking about as a Navy SEAL, talking about being aware of the flowers? But what that does, it helps me to be aware of the task I'm doing right now and do it the best way that I can and enjoy it. And slow down. Don't be in a hurry, just like you just explained. And I think that's really an important task to be able to perform in your daily life. I think a lot of people out there, they really have no clue. Their lives are run by the monkey mind. They're in the rat race, and they're struggling in traffic and in work and with overload with email or whatever. And so, yeah, that's a great point. I really, that's awesome that you're teaching that in your course, but I really think that's needed. So,
and I think that's when the intuitive, the deeper insights that we need to handle, events in our life come through. Like you're talking about the gardening, like, there's Buddha. He would have the flower meditation where we just hold a rose and just like, he was empty mind and just quiet, and everybody was like, what is he doing? He's like emptying his mind, it's becoming intuitive. So the thing that you talked about traffic, I remember being in Pakistan, and the traffic there is unbelievable. You have like, people don't observe, lanes. There's like, there might be 3 lanes, but there's like 5 lanes of traffic. There's donkey carts, there's people on bikes, there's people on motorcycles, there's people walking all over the place. So you really have to learn how to settle down, because it's, one of my buddies just told me it was a perfect thing. It's like swimming with a fish. You're in a school of fish, you just swim with them. They're all doing stupid. They're going to do stupid. You just let it go and go with the flow.
Right. Yeah, and this is especially important with you. Not going to go into any tactics or anything like that, but you have to remain calm. You're in a foreign country. You're on a mission.
Absolutely.
You can't be freaked out by traffic, or it's too by the heat, or by whatever it is, whatever these outside stressors are. you have to remain cool, calm, and collective, because you're there, you're on a mission, and not only is your safety, it's you want to keep yourself whole, but you also have your teammates there. So there's so many instances where that can be relevant in a SEAL's day-to-day mission, day-to-day life, but also in our own lives. It's the last thing you want to do is go off on some guy next to you with road rage or what have you, or if they're trying to put road rage on you, you need to stay calm and collective and ride out the situation. It's not worth it. It's not worth, yes, you need to defend your home or what have you, but I know there's a lot of instances where, we're out there in society and you just want to clock somebody, man, and it's, at least for myself, and I have to restrain myself, so I don't go around every day thinking that. I'm just saying there's times when that happens, and you have to dig a little deeper and take a deep breath and just say, hey, man, it's not worth it, or I'm going to walk away, or, in today's society, you don't know. Somebody could pull a knife on you. They could pull a gun. They could be right, they could be right on the edge. And you see that it's in the news, all the time, in terms of, one person going off on another, or a school shooting, or what have you. We live in chaotic times, but it's important for us as the sheepdogs to remain cool and calm and collective, and find a way out. If there's a problem, we're the ones that need to be the ones to find a way out. So
absolutely. And that's, if we could bring up another thing, fear would be the thing that we would overcome as well. So I've had these conversations with people that are like, talk about fear as being a good thing and stuff like that. I've had radio interviews, discussions, pretty good discussions, where people would say, yeah, fear is a good motivator. It's good for you. It's like, fear is not. It's like basically shuts you down. It shuts down the brain, shuts down the body. So fear as itself is not a good thing. Once you feel that fear, or you feel something tightening up your body that normally would lead to like shutting your body and your mind down, that's where you need to relax and push through that. And that's the things that we've learned as Navy SEALs, but anyone can learn those things. When you feel those tensions coming on, like we're talking about, there's a lot of stressors in society. If you let them overcome you, if you let that fear of whatever it is in your life come over you, then you're basically shutting yourself down, and you're going to fail. So like you're saying, if something happens, you need to learn how to be calm and move through that, because that's where the intuitive information comes through. If you're fearful, if you're stressed out, you're not going to have access to that intuitive brain. The intuitive brain is like the highest level of consciousness we have available to us, and it doesn't happen when you're fearful or stressed out.
Right. Yeah, that's really an important point. I can just think back from my own life, even say, I've done my fair share of climbing or what have you. And I'm actually, there's a certain fear of heights that I have. We all, I think that's good in a certain way. It keeps me alive, keeps me from stepping off the edge of a cliff or what have you. Right. But at the same time, you have to, if you're going to move up the rock face 1,000 feet or what have you to the next pitch, you have to control that fear in a good way, and realize there are dangers, but that with your skill, both physical and mental, you need to be able to move through that. And if you're gripped up, locked up, you're going to be not only a danger to yourself, but your partner. And so, that's and I'm sure you've had a lot, with 30 something years, at the tip of the spear, you've had way more experiences with that. And that's great that you're able to harness that and then put that into a type of training that you can then relay back to other students. So,
absolutely. It's called Eustress. It's basically taking the negative, things that happen to us and focusing it in a way that's positive. So you use that energy, that tension, and you focus it on what you want to accomplish. So yeah, I did a lot of, I was a lead climber when I was at SEAL Team 6.
Really?
At SEAL Team 5, I started the first climbing course. So yeah,
Great.
I love climbing. You're right. It really pushes you to, overcome some things. So you're out there, like you're talking about, on a face, and there is nothing here. And then you just kind of like slow down. You look and say, oh,
look around. Yeah.
There's a little finger hole there. I can make this. Yeah.
Exactly.
So it's
yeah.
not
You got to,
if you're all stressed out and fearful. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to analyze the situation, look around, situational awareness. Oh, okay, there is a climate. There's a hold over here that I can move over to and move me a little bit further up that rock face. Well, talk a little bit more about that stress, because that's, for us, our Still Grinder audience out there, we talk about that a lot with, say good stress, bad stress. We talk about, living in a chaotic society, how we want to aspire to be calm, cool, collective. We aspire to be a sheepdog. We want to be an asset in our society. We want to be productive. We don't want to be someone who, when the time is called, we want to be the person there on the scene to help another person. But talk a little bit more about that stress, and maybe just, nothing tactical or anything, but maybe one situation where, you really had to overcome your fear and step up into that new level. That intuitive mind.
Yeah, there's a lot of good examples I could use. The Eustress that I'm talking about is something that every major athlete is taught to overcome and focus their energy towards and use that stress. I was in Iraq. We were getting mortared, and the compound that we're in, and we had machine gun positions and a counter battery. I'd actually had my guy set up a counter battery with a Mark 19, which is a grenade launcher. We put it into a tripod position so that we could actually fire it back at the guys who were mortaring us.
Right.
So as we're getting mortared, I knew that intuitive. I knew that one of the mortars was going to land. I got to the point where I could tell when the mortars left the tube if they're going to be close or if they're going to be, we didn't need to worry about them. So I'm yelling at the guys, here, one's coming in the compound. So everybody got in their little huts and whatever. And then, sure enough, the mortar landed in a position where it was right on top of a sandbag position. Fortunately had a roof on it. So those guys survived. But you start to learn, you just keep that calm mind, that stress, you can focus it and start to be hyper aware. And
right.
I saw a RPG that was launched at us, and as it was launched, I just knew that it was not going to be a threat to us. I don't know how, but that's what intuition's about. And I'm watching it come in, and I'm like, it's good. So everybody was like, all panicking, and it got stuck in the wire and didn't explode.
Oh,
how would I know that?
Right.
Wow. If I had freaked out like everybody else, then I would have been running and not been able to counter batter the guys who were getting ready to shoot us again. So yeah, you just go into those deeper states of consciousness when you start to learn how to focus yourself and overcome the fears and stuff like that.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. That's got to be really intense. You've got incoming fire coming from, different directions. You're not sure where it's going to land or what have you. And, to stay calm under fire, that's, we hear that saying, but that's definitely, that's a great example of that. But,
I think that's how guys, over the years have been able to, you're like, they ran into a machine gun nest or they ran through the enemy and just defeated the enemy. I think there's that, you kick into that stressful mode and you just know that you're going to be okay. You don't know how, but you just know, and you just take care of business. So I think that's what a lot of those guys are doing over the years. It happened to me several times. So, that's an extreme example. Most people will never be in combat, very, very, very small percentage, like less than 1%. But right. Life is pretty stressful at times. You feel like you're in combat, don't you? Sometimes.
Yeah. No. Hey, I lived in Atlanta for 21 years, and
Okay.
I sat, I was in traffic, and that was my little mini, I won't say combat, but that was the little, skirmish zone of trying to make it through traffic and people shaking their fist at you. And you've got a tractor trailer over on the side of the road over here that's on fire, And so, yeah, I mean, it's
like it's combat zone, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in its own way, the inner city, but trying to stay calm and make it through, and not, not blow a gasket. I mean, we hear about it all the time. Stress is a killer. It robs people of their better years, in that it drives up blood pressure, and it deteriorates your health. People, it's definitely something that's hard to deal with, and so, but yeah, I want to, in talking about stress or what have you, earlier you mentioned the opposite of stress. You mentioned that you were getting ready to go on a hike this afternoon. That's why we wanted to knock this call out real quick. And tell us about that. Tell us where you're heading and what you're doing right now. I was really, I was pretty intrigued with that when I was checking out the other day on Facebook.
Yeah, the Unleashing Intuition Intensive that I do after the Unleashing Intuition course, the 3-day event. Basically what it is, it's a kayaking and going into the deep into the Desolation Wilderness area here around Lake Tahoe.
Right.
Last year I had the guys go up. We climbed all the way to top of Mount Talac. It's the highest peak here in Lake Tahoe. And
wow.
It was unbelievable, because it was like September. We're going to the top, and we had hurricane force winds and like blowing snow. It was unbelievable.
Wow.
So,
yeah.
I mean, we're still in summertime, it's beginning of September, but that's the way things can happen here. So I'm looking at going, instead of going up Mount Talac, which was kind of stressful for some people, and I want to be able to open this to couples, women, and stuff like that. I'm going around Talac, and that's what I'm going to look at today. It's a beautiful area. It's like you saw in those pictures, waterfalls. It's real easy, nice, steady climbing, instead of deep, very, very steep like I had last year. So it's going to be much more easy on the people. And we'll do I try to push it like a hell week. Like the guys didn't have much sleep, like an hour here, and then we off again. This
Right.
year is going to be, we get nice deep sleep, 8 hours of sleep, during the nights and stuff like that under the stars. So it'll be a lot easier. But yeah, this hike is beautiful, right along streams, waterfalls and stuff like that. Beautiful mountains, way up in the mountains, almost at the top, like I was talking about Mount Talac. So you're seeing all of Lake Tahoe. It's fantastic. Yeah,
that's great, man. To all our followers out there, Seal Grinder followers, y'all check out Michael's Facebook page. He spelled the last name spelled Jaco, and check out his Facebook page. He's got some great video, pictures of waterfalls, up in the mountains and all that. I think you'll get a really good idea of the type of terrain and type of environment that Michael's training in. So. Well, tell us. I mean, how, if someone's interested right now and they want to check out your course, or they want to check out one of your books, or they just want to read more, they just want to follow along, and how can they get in touch with you? What's the best ways to follow you, say online, or check out some of your stuff?
Yeah, Facebook, like you just said, I have almost 5,000 followers, but
yeah,
there's still a little bit of room there. I can take a few more people. I have
right.
Unleashing Intuition Facebook page, which I'm doing a little bit more stuff on that. I just updated my website, unleashingintuition.com. So that's where you can check out all the books, the courses, and so forth. Yeah, so I'm updating that stuff continually. I have a YouTube channel, which I post stuff on my Unleashing Intuition, and how to tap in your own intuition, and meditation, and all that kind of stuff we're talking about now.
Right. Yeah, and we'll be posting up links down in the show notes below on the Seal Grinder page there, and including Michael's book, Intuitive Warrior. We'll have a link for that. You can get that through Amazon or what have you. But I did want to, before we kind of close out, we're coming up on our hour, but before we close out, I should have mentioned this or asked this question before, and I got so caught. There's so much to talk about here, and it's kind of a run-of-the-mill question, but we get this all the time from our readers. So I want to make sure that I hit it with you is that, if you were training for buds or special forces or, here within the next year, I mean, what would be the things that you would try to do to get prepared? I know we talked about passion, digging deep and all that, but, if you can give kind of like a 1, 2, 3, here's the 3 things I would do if I was training for buds. That's something that our readers always are interested in. They always want to know how, someone, especially at your level, going through DevGru and the CIA, they really want to know what does it take and what they should be doing.
You really have to learn how to stress out your body. And that's, just incredible, workouts, pushing yourself. If you're doing, if your max is like 50 push-ups, you got to go higher. You got to keep stressing your body. You got to go further. And you got to like build that, channel in your mind where there's nothing that's going to stop me. I mean, I can drop right now. I'm like almost 57. I can push out 50 push-ups like nothing, so right. You gotta always have that desire. Another thing you need to do is like have to get in that cold water. I mean, if it's a cold shower, that's fine. Here in Lake Tahoe, the temperature is less than 50 degrees. It's like probably 40 degrees. I'm getting in it. I still stress my body, and I love that because it lets me know that I'm in control of my body. So you want to get to that point where mentally you're in complete control of your body, and as you're going to learn, if you go to make it to buds, you're going to be pushed far, far beyond what you ever thought possible. You think you push yourself hard now? It's not. Yes, you can tell your audience, it's not even close. I mean, it's amazing. But you have to be doing that now. So really stressing your body. Believe in yourself. If, like we talked about, there's a lot of people going to try and pull you down. Believe in yourself and eat good. I mean, when I did bodybuilding contest, I learned that 50% of like leaning down and getting, I just thought you just work out hard, and I never got the lean body that I saw the bodybuilders had. Once I got the good protein, once I got the good, diet, that's when it happened. So look for the good diets, work out hard, and push yourself way beyond what you think is possible.
Yeah, that's some great tips. It's pretty much, a lot of that would be very similar to what, I would say the same thing, man. I just, I got there to buds and I was like, man, this is way harder than I thought it was going to be. I was like, oh my God, are you kidding?
Yeah, I imagine pretty big. So
yeah, I said, I thought I worked out pretty hard in the weight room or whatever. I was like, man, oh, this is going to be a rough road to hoe right here, man. This is going to be hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the reality of it is, they want it to be hard. It has to be hard. There's no other way. It can't be easy.
And it's the basics. It's basic, buds. Basic.
Yeah, exactly. We got to remember that.
We push ourselves harder, much harder.
I know. Oh yeah, no, exactly. I mean, we did some pretty crazy stuff out there, and I'm sure with your 31 years, you got way more experience. You had many a death march or a cold experience that you had to get past. So yeah.
I even had some of that on the Pacific Crest Trail. So yeah, I mean, we're always pushing ourselves. You learn how to push yourself. That's what your body wants, what your mind wants, and you just keep doing it throughout your life. And I think that's really what keeps us young, keeps us fit, keeps us healthy.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Look, what's the opposite of that? Sitting on the couch, playing a video game. Nothing wrong with video game. I'm just saying in excess. Eating the wrong food, potato chips, pizza, whatever. Not getting sunshine, not getting in a good hike or whatever. So the opposite of that. And we wonder why we have so many obese Americans right now. There's so many of them that are inactive, and that's why I think conversations like this, people like yourself, we need more leaders like that are out there to tell people that it's okay to stress yourself in a good way, getting in cold water, or doing 50 push-ups, or hiking on a rocky trail. It's good to do that. It's okay to do that. You will not die. You will actually flourish. So the more times that, the more times that people can hear, our followers can hear leaders like yourself talking about that, that's just, that's what they need in their ear. That's what I need. I'm actually getting ready to leave this afternoon and go on a long bike ride myself. So yeah, it's
yeah, absolutely good.
Yeah. Well, great, Michael. We're coming up against the end of our hour here. I wanted to thank you for your time. I know that you're a busy guy. You got a lot of stuff going on, and I wish you well in your afternoon hike, and especially in your course. I'd like to come out and try one of your courses one time. That's I love.
You're a very
man
guy. I'd love to have you out. That'd be fun.
I love stuff like that.
Bring the level up. So it's fun to have people show up like yourself.
Yeah. So
I've had several SEALs show up already. So yeah, it's fun.
Oh, that's great, man. That's a great time. All right. Well, I'm Brad McLeod. I'm wrapping up here with Michael Jaco, and check out his book. Check out the links down below for his book on Amazon.com. Check out his Facebook page, and check out the show notes down below. We'll get you more information on how to get in touch with him, and hopefully we'll have some of our followers out at your course this summer and have them out in the good stress and improving their minds and bodies. That's what it's all about. So Thanks again, Michael.
Thank you, Brad. That was fun.
All right.